It's ups and downs in anything. Keep going, my nigga. It's better days. I damn near had to sacrifice everything.
Ups and downs in anything, rising and fallers. You know what time it is, you know what time it be. Where we simply take stock of our athletes and their organizations in the previous weeks who's been rising in stocks, who's been falling in stock. It's your boy Melo TMG. Make sure you subscribe if you listen to us on the YouTube. Make sure you follow us on all socials, that be the Instagram and the Twitter. Links are in our bio, links are down below in the description. Yeah. Also listen to us audibly, audibly. Make sure you listen to us audibly through the Apple Podcasts and the Spotify as well. But yeah, most importantly, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. I mean, at the end of the day, just clicking a few buttons. It's free at the end of the day. Who we hurting, Support the brothers. We're just trying to make it. But yeah, with no further ado, let's get started. Who else? What else to start with? Then the one, the only, the all-time great. That is Oleksandr Usyk. So as I call him now, Oleksandr the Hitman Usyk. He doesn't have a nickname. According to BoxRec, he may have a private one, but he doesn't have one. I call him the Hitman now because he really is a hitman. Mentally, the guy is so unfazed. I've never come across a boxer. Well, I haven't come across a boxer in a long time. He's so mentally unfazed. I mean, doesn't really lash out. He's just always in tune, always focused. He's just always focused. And his eyes, those beady eyes, is downloading information. The guy is so focused. And he completely bamboozled AJ. I mean, he duped AJ again, like Andy Ruiz did, but he's just so focused. He's so focused on his goal and the objective to achieve his mission. Kind of like an android. It's crazy. But yeah, I was there. And he completely dominated AJ. Literally dominated AJ. He won comfortably 8 rounds, arguably 9. It was a domination. I mean, boy. The game plan was essentially perfect. The footwork, the head movement, the commitment to body punches, the dexterity, the left straight, which AJ couldn't stop. Boy, the combinations when he needed to. Boy, the game plan was elite, and he put on an elite performance. I mean, he wobbled AJ multiple times. He kind of looked like the bigger puncher. Because when AJ caught him, AJ wasn't really wobbling him, pushing him back. He stumbled AJ multiple times. I mean, his fitness levels are immense as well. The guy, he found a final burst in the final 3-4 rounds. Literally, he really did find a final burst, and he went up to a new level, new levels, new devils. He took it up to a new level. He changed the tempo of the fight again. I mean, AJ was complaining about the pace at the end of the fight. So after the fight, the post-fight convo or interviews he was doing rather. And the pace he set was just phenomenal. He set a rapid, phenomenal pace that AJ could not live with. I mean, but yeah, he has it all. I mean, he's arguably the most skilled boxer there is. Pound for pound, he's now up to second, rightfully so. But he has the skills to pay the bills. Like I said, the footwork, the head movement, the hand speed, the punch dexterity, the boxing IQ, the ring generalship, the punch selection. I mean, there's not one thing he can't do to a very good elite level. I mean, the only thing he may lack at this level heavyweight is one punch knockout power. But he has literally everything else in his wheelhouse. I mean, Usyk is that guy. He really is that guy. And like I said, he's an all-time great because if you go through his resume, gold medalist 2020 2012 Olympic Games in London, undisputed cruiserweight champion, unified world heavyweight champion, pound for pound number 2, like I said before. He now moves up to 19 and 13 KOs. Boy, Usyk. And the rematch, boy, AJ has a lot to do. It has a lot to do. But yeah, still keeping it boxing. We go from the Ukraine, we go across via London, because obviously that's where the fight was. That was there. Tottenham Stadium, great stadium by the way, even though it doesn't really build up an atmosphere for the team to be. There's not really a fortress, that's what I'm trying to say. I go to the United States, or the Americas, and I go to Caleb Plant. The reason I gave Caleb Plant a riser, because his stock overall has risen, because more people know about him now. After a little scuffle and mix up at the press conference with Canelo, even though Canelo came up better in terms of the fight aspect, but the reason I give Caleb Plant the nod here, it could have gone to Canelo, but Caleb Plant stood up to Canelo. He raised the profile of the fight. He raised his own profile with this. And most importantly, which I criticise Canelo for, he called Canelo out on him and his camp's apparent cheating, the drug scandals they have. He called them all out. He laid it out on the table. He was calling them all out. And I hope he sticks to this game plan throughout the build-up of the fight. He called all them MFs out for all their cheating, all the clenbuterol, all the penfetamine, whatever you want to do, all the this, all of that. He called them all out. And he may have actually struck a nerve in Canelo. I mean, he may have. We'll see if it pays dividends. But he may have struck a nerve in Canelo. I mean, Canelo was heated. I mean, he was really heated. And he also may have learned a thing or two about Canelo's speed on the inside, which he obviously may have would never have felt before, unless he's sparking it, which I doubt. But now he actually understood and he actually felt what Canelo can do speed-wise, hand speed-wise in the pocket. And he knows something more to take with him and his camp as they prepare for this fight. He came out with a little cut, most likely due to the sunglasses, but I'm going to give I'm going to give Caleb the nod here. I really am. But yeah, from the Americas, we fly back over, I believe, the Atlantic Ocean to the UK. And we go to the Emirates Stadium and we go to Mikel Arteta. He was a faller for me, I believe, a couple of weeks ago, rightfully so. Because Arsenal and him, they started the season horrendously. I believe it was Arsenal's worst ever start after 3 games, 0.0 goals, goal difference of -9. The mood in the Emirates was terrible. But what happened? They also rock bottom of the league. But what happened, which is most important for them, is that the international break came at the right time. Gave them time to debrief, relax, recuperate, recalibrate, and come back again. And that's what they did. That's what Arsenal did. And since the international break, they won 4 on the bounce, including the Carabao Cup win as well, scoring 8 because he just won in the process. And most importantly, for Arsenal's sake, they won the North London derby. They completely dominated Tottenham, especially in the first half. They seem to be turning a corner, and for Arteta's case, he's managed to buy himself another 6 months at least. I mean, yeah, he really has. That's just being honest. I mean, and to be fair, all these players are back, and Arsenal seem to be playing as a cohesive unit again. We'll see how long this lasts for, but Arteta seems to turn the corner. But yeah, from the risers, of course, we go to the fallers, and then I'm one faller. That's all I can do. That's really all I can do. Anthony A.J. Joshua. There's one word I have for his performance. Tentative. He was tentative for at least 80 to 90% of the fight. He was gun shy. The game plan was horrendous. I don't know how and why they were doped into trying to outbox the boxer instead of trying to outpunch the boxer. There's a saying in boxing, you outbox the puncher and you outpunch the boxer. Basically, if someone's very highly skilled in boxing ability like Usyk is, you don't make it a boxing match of skills. You make it a physical fight. You punch him up, get it inside, make it real dirty, rough and tumble. You turn it into a scrap, a brawl. On the other side, conversely, if you are facing someone that's a big puncher, you don't let him do what he does well. You don't make it into a scrap. You don't make it into a fist fight. I have a go, you have a go. You make it into a boxing match. You use the ring, use your jab, work behind the jab, maybe attack the body, this, that. You keep it at range, especially if you have the advantage in terms of reach. If you don't, then quick little spits and ferts here and there, little quick spurt, quick combinations. You go back outside, you use your feet at the end of the day. Or you try to walk them into something if you've got power. But there was no execution from AJ and his camp. The execution was poor. They picked the wrong game plan and executed. And obviously the execution was poor because he was never going to win that fight. And boy, and he didn't really have a goal. It looked like he was lacking heart. I mean, yeah, he didn't get knocked down or he didn't get knocked out. But at the end of the day, Usyk's a cruiserweight. There were so many things lacking from that performance, and it was so crazy because obviously I was there. I felt it. After the first 3 rounds, Usyk quieted the crowd. He just silenced the crowd. Adrian was getting popped. He was getting this. He was getting that. I mean, he got outboxed, outfought, as in this, not just fought as in this. He got outmaneuvered. Lack of combination punches, like I said. He didn't let his hands go. He didn't really have a goal because when he actually did catch Usyk, Usyk felt it. AJ's power is concussive. AJ's power is crazy, but he didn't want to have. He don't want to let his hands go, and he paid a heavy price. And that's the most. And I also know he has all the attributes to be the best heavyweight of his era. Potentially, I mean, he could, or at least all the technical attributes. His heart and the game tactical side, we'll have to wait and see about that. But he has all the attributes. He's quick, athletic, strong, got good reach, got good power, good combination punch, power with hands. But the execution now with Ruiz and now Usyk has been pathetic. I don't know what it is. It's been pathetic. But it's time to make some tough calls, because in my opinion, he needs to shake up in the training department. I believe it's time to go for Rob McCracken. Because I've seen it twice now. In times of crisis, Rob McCracken cannot resonate with AJ. He cannot resonate with AJ. He can't change the tone. He can't change the mood in order to reach out to AJ and be like, G, you're messing up. You need to do this. You need to do that. He can't make that change in AJ. He just can't. And I compare it to, there's two comparisons I have. I compare it to when Gervonta Tank Davis fought his last fight, and when he went up to 140, I can't remember the name of the guys. He was down on the scorecards. Floyd Mayweather kept it real, said, boy, we need to knock it down on the scorecards. What happened? Gervonta went for the knockout and got it. Because it hit home. Floyd Mayweather could reach Gervonta Tank Davis in that manner. He hit home. He went for the knockout. Also as well, what's his name? Angelo Dundee. 1980-81, I believe, when Sugar Ray Leonard fought Tommy the Hitman Hearns, the original Hitman. He was down on the scorecards. Angelo Dundee was like, you're blowing it, son. And they flipped a switch. That switch was flipped in Sugar Ray Leonard's head, and he went out to get the knockout. I don't feel Rob McCracken can flip that switch in times of crisis when it matters the most. So it needs to be changed. Maybe a Derek James, maybe a Virgil Hunter, maybe an Abel Sanchez, who knows? But I need to see changes, because this is pathetic now. But the next one is Harry Kane. He doesn't want to be there whatsoever. At Tottenham, you can see it. It's so evident the way he's performing. He's playing 5 games so far, 0 goals, 0 assists. He's lackadaisical. But to be fair, this could be a smart move by him. Maybe he wants to devalue himself, so it makes it easier for him to get the move next season, because his value is plummeting. They were screaming 150 mil. Felix, he's looking old. Look at his age over the last few months. He's looking like he's probably an £80 million player right now. So maybe this is a grand plan. Maybe he's a few steps ahead of all of us. Because damn, his performances have been crazy, and he was even at fault for the last goal. Just stood on the ball, and obviously Tottenham were going for header to lever, and there was a big counter-attack opportunity because he was doing his deep roll thing again, and they got exposed. But for Harry Kane and football, we go to basketball to conclude. Benjamin David Simmons. I don't call him Ben Simmons anymore because he's a mug. He's playing like a mug. He's called Benjamin. He has come out of his chest and says he does not want to play for the 76ers. He says he doesn't want to play with Joel Embiid no more. He says he's not going to turn up to training camp. Not going to do this, not going to do that. He wants to force the move. And, fair play, he wants to force the move, whatever. But the main issue for me is the lack of accountability. Accountability is a massive thing for me. Own up, take ownership for what he did wrong, and make amends. He is the reason he's in a situation. He hasn't improved his game. He hasn't at least displayed that he's made improvements in his game. Like, shooting-wise, he's still the same player as he was in his first season. He's not made those improvements. And now the Philly crowd, they get onto him because they tried all this nicey, pally stuff, and it didn't work. So they have to try this aggressive approach. They have to change it, Only a crazy person does the same thing twice and expects different results. I believe Einstein or so along the lines, one of the great philosophers in history, said that. They needed to make a change in their approach to you, and that's what they did. And now they're playing out hardball, now they're playing firm, and now you want to throw your toes at the pram. I'm sorry. Because look at like this. Benjamin Simmons should be doing something very similar to what Giannis is doing, but the main difference is all up here. So I tell you guys, it's all about the intangibles, but you don't listen to me. I sound like a broken record, but it's about the intangibles. But yeah, Rise and Fallers, week 32, segment 32, your boy Mellow TMG. Let's get it.